50 years old. And I've forgotten what it feels like to be seen. The fluorescent light in the kitchen flickered on and off. I placed my hands on the edge of the sink, stared at the pile of dishes in front of me. The woman in the mirror looks 10 years older. Circles under her eyes, slumped shoulders, that tragic curve at the corners of her lips. For 25 years I've been running Manley's bakehouse, built it with my own hands. And for 25 years I've been raising children who no longer remember to say thank you. Upstairs, the chaos. Claire's phone call, Marcus's video game screams, the blare of the television. But no one asking, "Mom, are you tired?" No one. I'm a 50-year-old woman living like a ghost in my own home. Functional, silent, invisible. Only one person sees me. My husband, Ronald. When he says Maryanne, it sounds like love. But being invisible is also a kind of power, because no one notices what you see, what you know, what you're planning. My name is Maryanne Manley. This is my story. The journey of an invisible woman who refused to disappear. Sunday morning. 6:30 a.m. I got out of bed quietly, trying not to wake Ronald. It's a habit. 40 years of marriage does that. You memorize your partner's breathing rhythm. You know which floorboard creaks. You can walk in the dark with your eyes closed. When I came downstairs, I saw it. The note. Claire had left it on the kitchen table. I picked it up, read it. "Mom, last night's dinner was too salty. Can you be more careful next time? By the way, my friends are coming over this afternoon. Will you be home? It might be a bit awkward. Thanks." I read it again. Awkward. To my daughter, her own mother, was awkward. My 28-year-old daughter, Claire, college graduate, still trying to find herself. She moved back home 3 years ago, rent-free, expense-free. But my presence was awkward. I crumpled the note, threw it in the trash, started the coffee maker. I looked out the window. The spring sun was just rising. The daisies in the garden were beginning to bloom. I had planted those daisies 3 years ago, with Ronald. That afternoon we'd knelt in the dirt, got our hands dirty, laughed together. He'd said, "You're making this garden like paradise." The door opened. Ronald came into the kitchen, hair disheveled, still in his pajamas. He looked at me, smiled. That real warm, "I see you" smile. "Good morning, beautiful," he said. He came up behind me, wrapped his arms around my waist, kissed my neck. My eyes welled up. There was so much in this simple gesture. Being seen, being loved, being valued. "Good morning," I whispered. "I smelled the coffee and woke up," Ronald said. He filled 2 cups, sat at the table. "I saw Claire's note. In the trash." I shrugged. Same as always. "Maryanne." His voice was gentle but firm. "You're not awkward in this house. You're the heart of this home." He paused. "Don't forget that." I nodded, but said nothing. Ronald's support gave me strength. But my children's indifference? That hurt more each passing day. a.m. The family gathered at the breakfast table. I'd prepared everything. Eggs, cheese, jam, fresh bread. I'd set the table carefully. Floured napkins, orange juice in glasses, Ronald's favorite honey jar. Claire came to the table, phone in hand, eyes down. Marcus followed, 25 years old, works at a tech company, still lives at home, always says he's saving up, never explains what for. "Good morning," I said. No one answered. Ronald frowned. "Claire, Marcus." His voice was stern. "Your mother said good morning." Claire looked up from her phone, rolled her eyes. "Good morning, Mom." Then back to the screen. Marcus mumbled through a mouthful of eggs. "Good morning." I sat down, filled my plate. I had no appetite, but I tried to eat. Silence enveloped the table. Only the sounds of silverware, Claire's phone notifications. "What are you doing this weekend?" I asked, trying to break the silence. "Meeting friends today," Claire said, still not looking up. "Then, I don't know. Maybe the movies." "Nice. Which movie?" "Don't know. Whatever we like." Still looking at her phone. I turned to Marcus. "How about you?" "Work," he said. "Company, new project, very busy." "You're working on Sunday?" I asked, surprised. "Yes, Mom. That's what a career is. Always in work mode." Dismissive. Ronald intervened. "Will you come for dinner?" "Don't know. We'll see," Claire said. Marcus just nodded. Said nothing. I sighed. "I was going to make chicken today. Your favorite recipe, Marcus, with peppers and onions." "Mom," Marcus groaned. "I don't eat meat anymore. I went vegan." He paused. "I told you." My heart sank. "You didn't tell me?" "I did. Last week." His tone sharp. "But you don't listen." Marcus." Ronald's voice cut in. "Don't talk to your mother that way." "I'm just telling the truth. Nobody listens to me in this house." "You talk too much anyway," Claire added. "You dramatize everything. Both of you." Ronald's voice rose. "Be quiet. Your mother made you breakfast. At least say thank you." Claire and Marcus looked at each other, rolled their eyes. "Thanks, Mom," they said together. Mechanical. Flat. Like a mandatory duty. I tried to smile. "You're welcome." But something inside me had broken. Again. After breakfast, Claire went upstairs, getting ready for her friends. Marcus retreated to his room. "Work," he said. I washed the dishes, cleaned the kitchen, vacuumed the living room, disinfected the bathrooms. Ronald was in the garage, fixing the car. He'd come in occasionally, tell me to rest. But I couldn't rest, because if I rested, I didn't know what would happen. I was afraid of what I'd think, if I was alone with myself. 1:00 p.m. The doorbell rang. Claire's friends had arrived. 3 young women, all Claire's age, beautiful clothes, perfect makeup, expensive perfume. I opened the door, smiled. "Hello. Welcome," I said. One of the girls said, "Hi." Didn't even look at me as she passed. Neither did the other 2. They went straight up to Claire's room. I closed the door, returned to the kitchen. I remembered Claire's note. "Will you be home? It might be a bit awkward." Awkward? In my own home? Ronald came into the kitchen, washing his hands. "Did Claire's friends arrive?" he asked. "Yes." "Did you meet them?" "No. They went straight upstairs." Ronald shook his head. "That girl. Leave it, Ronald." My voice was quiet. "I need to get used to it." "No." His voice was firm. "You shouldn't." He paused. "You're the queen of this house, Maryanne. No one can ignore you." He touched my shoulders. I looked into his eyes. There was anger there. Not at the children. At the situation. And there was love. For me. "Thank you," I whispered. "Come," Ronald said. "Let's go to the garden. The weather's nice. Let's sit and have coffee together." We went outside, sat at the wooden table in the garden, listened to the birds chirping. Ronald held my hand. "You know," he said softly, "the day I married you, I thought I was the luckiest man." He paused. "And I think the same thing every day." My eyes filled with tears. "Ronald." "No, listen." He insisted. "You're an incredible woman, Maryanne. Strong, intelligent, loving." He squeezed my hand. "And if our children don't see that, it's their loss, not mine." His voice dropped to a whisper. because I see you. Every day. I cried, silently, tears streaming down my cheeks. Ronald took me in his arms, stroked my hair. "I'm here," he whispered. "I'm always here." That night, lying in bed, I stared at the ceiling. Ronald was sleeping next to me, his soft snoring like background music. My mind went to the past. 25 years ago, Claire had just been born. I'd held her in my arms, counted her tiny fingers, gotten drunk on her smell. "You're my miracle," I'd whispered. "I'll love you forever." 3 years later, Marcus came. With my 2 children, I felt complete. Home, family, love. It was all there. Those years were difficult, but beautiful. Waking up at night, diapers, breastfeeding, crying. But every day was a miracle. Every smile, every first step, every first word. I know them all by heart. When Claire was 3, she said it for the first time. I was cooking in the kitchen. Claire came, wrapped her little arms around my legs, looked up. "I love you, Mommy." I never forgot that moment. Marcus got sick when he was 5. High fever, hospital, all-night bedside vigil. I was so scared that night. But Marcus recovered. I told him, "You're my hero son." Where were those children now? Those loving, innocent children who ran calling Mommy? Where did they go? I turned, looked at Ronald. He was still sleeping. I reached out, held his hand. This man was always there. When the children were born. When they were sick. When they started school. Ronald was always there. And now the children have grown and moved away. But Ronald is still here. "Thank you," I whispered in the dark. Ronald didn't wake up, but his fingers gripped mine a little tighter, as if he was listening to me, even in his sleep. Tuesday evening. Claire came home with a big smile on her face. I was preparing dinner in the kitchen. Vegetable casserole, one of Claire's favorite dishes from before. "Mom!" she called out, enthusiastic. I turned, surprised. When was the last time Claire called me so excitedly? "Yes, sweetheart," I asked. "I have great news." She sat at the table. Her eyes were sparkling. "Tell me!" "My friends and I are going to Europe. A 3-week tour. Paris, Rome, Barcelona, everywhere." I smiled. "Wow, that's amazing." "When?" "Next month. And, well, there's a small problem." Her smile faded slightly. My smile faded too. "What problem?" "Well, money. It's a bit expensive. And you know I don't have a job right now." "So—" She trailed off. I understood. "So you're asking me for money?" "Exactly." Bright again. "You can help me, right? Just $5,000. I know it sounds like a lot, but—" $5,000? I couldn't hide my shock. "Claire, that's a huge amount." "But Mom, this is so important to me." She leaned forward. "My friends are going, and I have to go too. Otherwise I'll be left out." "Left out?" I frowned. "Claire, you're an adult woman. If your friends only love you for spending money—" "That's not it," she interrupted, angry. "You don't understand. You're always like this. You don't understand my life." "I don't understand." My voice broke. "I'm your mother, Claire." "Yes, and you always judge me." I took a breath. "I'm not judging you. It's just that $5,000 is a lot of money. For your father and me, too. But you have savings. You have a house, a car, everything. Because we worked for it, Claire." My voice firm. "For years we worked." "Sure, the usual we worked speech." Sarcastic. "I know. You're perfect. I'm incompetent." "I didn't say that." "But you implied it," she yelled. The door opened. Ronald came in. He'd heard the argument. "What's going on here?" he asked. "Dad!" Mom won't give me money for the Europe trip, Claire complained. How much money? $5,000. Ronald whistled. That's a serious amount. See, even your father is surprised, I said. But Dad, this is so important to me. You understand, right? Claire's voice pleading. Claire, I want you to be happy, Ronald said carefully. But $5,000 really is a lot. You have savings. Yes, but those savings aren't for your entertainment. Ronald's voice patient. That's our retirement fund. Okay, I get it. Claire's voice bitter. I'm not important to you. Only your money matters. She threw her hands up. You never loved me. She ran upstairs, slammed her door. Ronald and I looked at each other. Silence filled the room. That girl, Ronald muttered, shook his head. I sat at the table, buried my face in my hands. Where did we go wrong, Ronald? We didn't do anything wrong. He sat next to me. Claire just hasn't matured yet. She thinks life is easy, but I'm her mother. My voice breaking. Why does she see me as the enemy? I don't know, Maryanne. Honest. But this isn't your fault. I cried, silently, tears flowing. Ronald took me in his arms, stroked my hair. Don't cry, he whispered. You're a wonderful mother. And one day Claire will understand that. What if she doesn't? She will. His voice firm. I promise. Wednesday evening. Marcus came home cheerfully. I was reading a book in the living room. Ronald watched TV. Mom, Dad, I have news, Marcus announced. Tell us, Ronald said. Turned off the TV. The company promoted me. I'm a senior software engineer now. Proud. I stood up, hugged him. Congratulations, son. That's wonderful. I'm so happy. He grinned. And my salary went up too. 30%. I'm making $95,000 a year now. Wow, Ronald said, impressed. That's a serious raise. I know, Marcus beamed. And, well, I have a plan. My stomach sank. That phrase. I have a plan. It never brought good news. I'm thinking of moving, he continued. Downtown, I found a luxury apartment. Monthly rental. Very modern. Amazing view. How much is the rent? Ronald asked. $3,000 a month. Ronald and I looked at each other. $3,000? I said, shocked. Isn't that too much? No, Mom. That's the average price in that neighborhood. Defensive. And I can afford it now. Okay, Ronald said slowly. So what's the problem? Well, I need deposit and first month's rent. Marcus explained. Total $9,000, and I haven't saved that much yet. He paused. I'm asking for a loan. I'll pay it back, I promise. Marcus, you're an adult man, Ronald said. You have your own money. Why didn't you save? I did save, but, well, there were expenses. Marcus shifted. Car repairs, computer upgrades, social events. Social events? I repeated. So you spent money on entertainment but didn't save for housing? Mom, everyone does that. Defensive again. I want to live too. No one's stopping you from living, Ronald said. But you need to take your own responsibilities. I am taking them, Marcus insisted. I'm just asking for a little help. Won't you help me? I took a deep breath. Marcus, yesterday Claire asked me for $5,000. Now you're asking for $9,000. I paused. That's $14,000 total. That's a huge amount for us. But I'll pay it back. Claire said that too. My voice quiet. You always say that, but you never pay back. I'm not Claire, Marcus shouted. I'm responsible. Then why didn't you save? Ronald challenged. Because everything's expensive. Life is expensive. his voice rising. "You don't understand." I stood up. "We don't understand?" My voice rising too. "When we were your age, Marcus, we bought a house. We bought a car. We raised 2 children." I paused. "Because we worked and saved. We didn't rent luxury apartments. We didn't go out every weekend." "Your time was different," he argued. "No." My voice firm. "It wasn't different. We were just responsible." Silence. "So that's it. You won't help me." His voice bitter. "Unbelievable. I'm not important to you either." He threw his hands up, stormed upstairs, slammed his door, just like Claire. I sat down again, put my head in my hands. "These kids," Ronald muttered. "Where did we go wrong, Ronald?" I asked again. "Nowhere." He took my hands. "They're just immature." He looked into my eyes. "Maryanne, look at me. You care about them and want to help, but that doesn't mean saying yes to their every request." He squeezed my hands. "Sometimes saying no is the biggest help." I knew Ronald was right, but it still hurt. Friday evening. I suggested a family dinner to Ronald. "Let's all sit together, talk. Maybe we can solve the problems." Ronald was skeptical, but agreed. "Okay, let's try," I told Claire and Marcus. Both reluctantly agreed. I prepared a special meal: lamb roast, mashed potatoes, green salad, homemade bread. I set the table beautifully with a white tablecloth, candles, and flowers. 7 p.m. We all sat at the table. The silence was heavy. "So, how was your week?" I asked, trying to sound cheerful. No one answered. Claire was looking at her phone. Marcus was playing with his plate. "Claire?" I prompted. "It was fine," she said without looking up. "What did you do?" "Stuff," she replied vaguely. I sighed. "Marcus, you?" "Work. Just work." His tone pointed. "Some of us are working." "Marcus, speak to your mother properly," Ronald warned. "I am speaking properly." "No, you're not." Ronald's voice was firm. I started eating but couldn't taste anything. There was a lump in my throat. Ronald tried again. "Look," he said. "This week you both asked your father and mother for money. Large amounts. And we said no. I understand you're disappointed, but—" "Disappointed?" Claire interrupted loudly. "That's more than disappointment. I asked you for one thing and you refused." $5,000 isn't one thing, Claire," I said calmly. "Not for you," she shot back, "but it's important for me." "It's important for us, too," Ronald said. "That money is for our retirement." "Retirement?" Marcus laughed sarcastically. "You're only 50. You still have 15 years until retirement." "Yes, and we need to save during those 15 years, Ronald explained. "You're so selfish," Claire said coldly. My eyes widened. "We're selfish?" "Yes." She leaned forward. "You only think about yourselves." "Claire!" My voice was breaking. "We've been thinking about you for 28 years. Your food, clothes, education, everything. And now you're calling us selfish?" "Because you are!" she yelled. "You don't see my needs anymore." "Your needs are luxury vacations?" Ronald said. "Those aren't needs, Claire. Those are wants." "I have a right to wants, too." "Yes, but with your own money," Ronald replied. Claire pounded the table. "I don't have a good job like you do. I'm still searching." "You're 28 years old, Claire." My voice was quiet. "How long will you search?" "As long as it takes," she shouted. "What about me?" Marcus interjected. "I have a good job. I said I'd pay it back." "But you never pay back," Ronald said. Last year you borrowed $2,000. You still haven't paid it back. Because there are expenses, Marcus protested. There are always expenses, Marcus, I said, but you need to set your priorities. So now you're setting my priorities, he said angrily. You want to control everything, my life, my money, but you want to make the decisions. No, Ronald's voice was steady. We just want you to be responsible. I am responsible, Marcus shouted. Then prove it, Ronald challenged. Enough, Claire yelled. This family is toxic. You two control everything. You never listen to us. We do listen, I said desperately. But what you're saying isn't logical. Not logical? Claire grabbed her purse. Then I'm leaving. I can't live with you anymore. Claire, wait. I started, but Claire headed for the door. Marcus followed her. I'm leaving too, Marcus said. I'll stay at a friend's place. Marcus, please, I begged. The door slammed. The house fell silent. I collapsed into my chair and cried. My hands were shaking. My tears wouldn't stop. Ronald came to me and took me in his arms. Shh, calm down, he whispered. I just wanted them to be okay, I sobbed. I know. His voice was gentle. Why did they become like this? Where did we go wrong? I cried. Nowhere. His voice was firm. They made their choices. We did our best. 3 weeks later. The phone rang at midnight. I woke up, heart pounding. A phone call at night never brought good news. Hello? I answered. Groggy. Mom? Marcus's voice, but different, fragile, scared. Marcus? What happened? I asked, suddenly alert. I'm in the hospital. His voice weak. I jumped up. Hospital? What happened? Are you okay? I had an accident with my car. It's not too serious, but... He paused. Mom, can you come? Of course. Which hospital? I was already shaking Ronald awake. St. Mary's, emergency room. We're coming right now. I hung up, turned to Ronald, who was sitting up in bed. Marcus had an accident. He's in the hospital. Let's go, Ronald said, already getting out of bed. We got dressed quickly, got in the car. All the way to the hospital, I prayed. Please, please let him be okay, I whispered. Ronald put his hand on mine. He'll be fine, I promise. When we arrived at the hospital, we rushed to the emergency room. Marcus was sitting on a gurney, bandage on his head, cast on his arm. Marcus! I cried, running to him. I hugged him carefully, mindful of his injuries. Marcus hugged me back, with his good arm. Mom! I could hear tears in his voice. Are you okay? What happened? I pulled back to look at him. On the road, a car suddenly braked. I braked too, but couldn't stop in time. I crashed. He paused. My arm is broken, and I have a scratch on my head. But the doctor said nothing serious. I cried. Relief. I was so scared. I was scared too, Mom. His voice quiet. And the first person I thought of was you. I called you. I hugged him tighter. I'm always here, son. Always. Ronald came up, put his hand on Marcus's shoulder. I'm glad you're okay, son. Thank you, Dad. The doctor came, explained Marcus's condition. His arm is broken. He'll be in a cast for 6 weeks. The scratch on his head will heal. But overall, you were lucky. He paused. It could have been worse. Thank you, doctor, I said, grateful. We took Marcus home, not to his own place, but to our house. Marcus didn't object. You can stay in the guest room, I told him. I'll take care of you. Mom, Don't argue, Marcus. My voice firm. You're my son. Taking care of you is my job. Okay. His voice quiet. That night I sat in Marcus's room. For a long time. watching him sleep. He looked so innocent sleeping, just like when he was a child. "I love you so much," I whispered. "I always have." The following weeks I took care of Marcus. Because of his broken arm, he couldn't do many things. I woke up early every day, made Marcus breakfast. Then I went to work, came home at lunch to give him lunch, returned in the evening to make dinner. Ronald helped too. He took Marcus to the shower, helped him get dressed. At first, Marcus was embarrassed. "Mom, Dad, I'm an adult man. I can do it myself." "With a broken arm?" Ronald said. "Not a chance. We'll help you." Marcus accepted. As the days passed, Marcus started to change. Kinder, more grateful. One morning at breakfast, he said, "Mom, breakfast was amazing this morning, thank you." I was surprised. "You're welcome, sweetheart." "No, really," he insisted. "You cook for me every day. You take care of me. I appreciate it." He paused, looked down at his plate. "I treated you badly. Last month. About the money. I'm sorry." I reached out, held his hand. "That's in the past." "No, it's not." He looked up at me. "I was so selfish. I only thought about my own wants. But you and Dad? You always thought about me." He paused, and I couldn't see it. "Mom, I'm really sorry, and thank you. For everything." My eyes filled with tears. "I love you, son. So much." "I love you too, Mom." I could see he meant it. That evening, Marcus also talked with Ronald. "Dad, I want to apologize to you too." Marcus's voice sincere. "I was disrespectful." "Accepted." Ronald nodded. "But learn from this, Marcus. Life isn't easy. It requires responsibility." "I know now." Marcus leaned forward. "And I want to be more responsible." "Then we'll help you." "Thank you, Dad." I listened to this conversation from the kitchen. My heart was filled with joy. Maybe not everything would be fixed. But this was a beginning. A month later, the doorbell rang. I opened it. Claire stood there. But this Claire wasn't like before. No makeup, hair messy, eyes red, as if she'd been crying. "Claire? What happened?" I asked, concerned. "Mom." And then she burst into tears. I was so stupid." I brought her inside, hugged her. "Shh, calm down. What happened?" "My friends," she sobbed. "They weren't real friends. I didn't go on the Europe trip because I didn't have money. And they abandoned me." She paused, crying harder. "Said I wasn't fun enough. And then I lost my job. My boss was a bad person. He fired me." She looked up at me. "Now I'm unemployed. I have no money, no friends. Mom, I'm in such bad shape." I sat her down on the couch, sat next to her. "Claire, you always have a place here. This is your home. But I treated you so badly." Her voice breaking. "I called you awkward." "I know. Honest. And it hurt. But you're my daughter." I paused. "I'll always love you." "I'm sorry, Mom. So sorry." Crying harder. I was so selfish. I only thought about myself. But you always thought about me." She paused, and I couldn't see it. Claire looked up at me. "Will you help me again?" "Of course," I said. "But this time it'll be different. You'll look for work. You'll work. We'll support you, but we won't do everything for you." "I understand." She nodded. "And I accept. I want to be responsible now." "Then welcome home, sweetheart." I hugged her again. Claire cried again. But this time they were tears of happiness. That evening 4 people sat at the table. Me, Ronald, Marcus, and Claire. Just like old times. But this time it was different. This time everyone listened to each other. Showed respect. This time the family truly felt like family. Everything was going well. Claire had started a new job, was successful. Marcus's arm had healed. He'd returned to work. We'd started family therapy. Communication was getting stronger. But then the storm came. One Friday evening. Ronald came home looking exhausted. His face was pale, sweating. "Ronald, are you okay?" I asked, worried. "I'm fine, just tired." His voice was weak. "Sit down. Rest. I'll get you some water." I helped him to the couch. Ronald sat down, but a few minutes later he said, "Maryanne, I don't feel well." And he fainted. I screamed. "Ronald!" I immediately called 911. The ambulance came within 10 minutes. They took Ronald to the hospital. I went with the ambulance, my heart racing with fear. At the hospital, doctors examined Ronald, ran tests. I sat in the waiting room, crying, praying. Claire and Marcus came too. "Mom, how's Dad?" Claire asked, rushing over. "I don't know," I sobbed. "The doctors are still examining him." 3 hours later, a doctor came out. His face was serious. "Mrs. Manley?" "Yes?" I stood up quickly. "Your husband has a heart problem, coronary artery disease, and he had a minor heart attack." My world spun. "Heart attack?" I whispered. "Yes. He's stable now, but it's serious. He may need surgery, bypass surgery. But first we'll run more tests tomorrow." He paused. "For now, we're keeping Ronald under observation." "Can I see him?" I asked, desperate. "Of course. Come with me." I went into Ronald's room. He was lying in bed, eyes closed, connected to machines. He looked so fragile. I put my hand on his, whispered, "Ronald, I'm here." Ronald opened his eyes, looked at me, tried to smile. "Hello, beautiful." His voice weak. "How do you feel?" I asked. "Tired, but being with you makes everything better." I cried. "I'm scared, Ronald." "Don't be scared," he said. "I'll get better, I promise." "But the doctor said surgery." "Then I'll have surgery." His voice firm. "And I'll get better." He paused. "Because I don't want to leave you." I kissed his forehead. "I don't want to leave you either." "Then I'm not going anywhere." That night I stayed at the hospital, next to Ronald. Claire and Marcus wanted to stay too, but I sent them away. "You go home, rest, come back tomorrow." I told them, "I'm with your father. He should be comfortable." All night I held Ronald's hand and prayed, "Please, God, don't take him from me." My voice a whisper. He's my everything. Morning came. Doctors came. Took Ronald for tests. I waited, anxiously. In the afternoon, the doctor returned. "Mrs. Manley, the tests are complete. Surgery is necessary. Double bypass. Tomorrow morning." "How risky is it?" I asked, my voice trembling. "Every surgery is risky, but Ronald is strong, and our best team will perform it." "Okay." I tried to steady myself. "Okay, do it." That evening, the family gathered again. Claire, Marcus, even neighbors came. Everyone prayed for Ronald. "Dad will get better," Marcus said, confident. "He's a strong man." "Yes, he's our hero," Claire added. I said nothing. I just held Ronald's hand, tightly. That night, Ronald looked at me, serious. "If something happens—" "No," I interrupted, sharp. "Nothing will happen." "But if it does?" His voice gentle. "Be strong, take care of the children, and be happy." He paused. "And know that you were the best thing in my life. Every day with you was a gift." "Ronald, please," I cried. "You are the best thing for me, too." I managed to say through my tears, "Then we're lucky," he said, smiling. "Yes, we're lucky." We kissed, and we slept, hand in hand. 6:00 a.m. Nurses came. They were going to take Ronald to the operating room. I kissed him one last time. "I love you. I love you too." See you later. See you later. Ronald was wheeled away. I returned to the waiting room. Claire and Marcus were waiting. Mom, Dad will be fine, Claire said, trying to comfort me. I know. My voice wasn't convincing. Hours passed. 3 hours. 4 hours. 5 hours. I was going crazy with worry. Why is it taking so long? I asked, desperate. Surgeries take time, Mom. Calm down, Marcus said, but I could see he was worried too. I couldn't calm down. I kept pacing, looking out the window, waiting. Finally, after 6 hours, the doctor came out. He had a smile on his face. Mrs. Manley. I rushed over. How is he? Successful. The surgery was successful. Ronald is in the recovery room now. I burst into tears. Really? Really? You can see him soon. Claire, Marcus, and I rushed to the recovery room. Ronald was there, eyes closed, but breathing steadily. I put my hand on his, whispered, Ronald, you did it. Ronald opened his eyes, looked at me, smiled weakly. I told you I'm not going anywhere. I laughed through my tears, kissed him. I love you so much. I love you too. Claire and Marcus came closer. Dad, we're so happy. Together, I'm happy too. Ronald's voice soft. I live to be with my family. That day I understood something profound. Family was everything. There could be problems, there could be conflicts. But in the end, love overcomes everything. Ronald stayed in the hospital for a week. Then he came home. But he was still weak. Needed rest. I quit my job to take care of him full time. Every day I gave him his medications, made special diet meals, sat with him. One day Ronald said, Maryanne, you're getting too tired. Maybe we should hire a nurse. No. My voice firm. You're my husband. Taking care of you is my duty and my happiness. But you need to rest too. I'm fine, I insisted. If you get better, I'm fine. Claire and Marcus helped too. Claire came every day after work to help me. Marcus came on weekends to take care of the garden. Mom, you're an amazing woman, Claire said one day. You take such good care of Dad. He's my everything, I said simply. I'll do anything for him. You did the same for us. Claire's voice soft. But we couldn't see it. I'm sorry. I hugged her. You see it now. That's what matters. Weeks passed. Ronald was getting stronger. Doctor checkups were good. I began to relax. One day, Ronald wanted to go to the garden. I supported him. We walked slowly together. The garden is so beautiful, Ronald said, looking around. You've done amazing work. Thank you, I said, but it means nothing without you. Ronald turned to me, held my hand. Maryanne, when I was in surgery, I realized something. Life is too short, and we need to spend it with the people we love. He paused. I want to be a better husband for you. You're already perfect. No, I can be better. He insisted. I can spend more time with you. I can support you more. He squeezed my hand. And I will. I kissed him. I'm lucky I found you. I'm lucky I found you, he replied. A few weeks later at yoga class, Lisa asked me a question. Maryanne, do you paint? She asked. Paint? No, why? I replied, surprised. Because I'm starting a painting class on weekends, and I want you to join, Lisa said enthusiastically. I can feel you're creative. I don't know how to paint, I said hesitantly. It doesn't matter. I'll teach you, Lisa assured me. I thought about it for a moment, then remembered what I'd learned. Focus on yourself. Develop your hobbies. Okay, I said. I'll join. The first painting class was Saturday morning. I was nervous and excited. Lisa greeted me warmly. "Welcome. Ready?" she asked. "I think so," I said. "Today we'll paint landscapes. Use your imagination. There's no right or wrong. Just feel and paint," Lisa instructed. I sat in front of the canvas. At first, I didn't know what to do. But then, I picked up the brush and started painting. I painted a garden. Daisies, roses, trees. And in the middle, 2 figures, a man and a woman, holding hands. When the class ended, Lisa came over and looked at my painting. "Wow, this is amazing! Is this your first painting?" she asked, clearly impressed. "Yes," I said. "Unbelievable, you have real talent," she exclaimed. I smiled. For the first time in a long time, I felt good at something. Not just as a mother or a wife, as myself. I took the painting home and showed Ronald. "This is fantastic," he said. "You're really talented. We should hang this on the wall." And we did. We hung the painting in the living room. Every time we looked at it, we remembered that beautiful day. I went to painting class every week. Every week I learned something new and made new paintings. Our house started filling with paintings. One day Claire said, "Mom, you've become an artist." I laughed. "No, it's just a hobby." "No, you're really talented," she insisted. "Maybe you'll have exhibitions one day. Don't exaggerate, sweetheart," I said. But the idea stayed in my mind. Maybe one day. A few months later, Ronald had fully recovered. The doctor said he could return to work, but Ronald made a different decision. "I'm going to retire," he announced. "Retire?" I said, surprised. "But you're only 53. "I know," he said. "But life is short, and I want to spend more time with you. We have savings, and I don't want stress anymore. Just you, me, and happiness." "Are you sure?" I asked. "I'm sure," he said confidently. "Okay then," I said, smiling. "Retire." Ronald retired, and together we started a new life. We traveled, did hobbies, spent time with friends. One day, Claire came over with a big smile on her face. "Mom, Dad, I need to tell you something," she said excitedly. "Tell us, sweetheart," I said. I'm pregnant," she announced. I froze for a moment, then screamed with joy. "Pregnant? Yes, 3 months," she said, laughing. "And there's something else. I'm getting married. His name is David. We met at work. He's an amazing man. You'll meet him soon." I screamed again and hugged Claire tightly. "This is amazing. Incredible. We're going to be grandparents. Claire, I'm so proud of you." "Thank you, Mom," she said, tears in her eyes. "And I'm sorry for all my bad behavior. But now I understand. Now I'm becoming a mother myself, and I understand how hard it was for you." I kissed her forehead. "That's in the past. Now we're all happy." That evening we celebrated. Ronald opened champagne and I baked a cake. We all sat at the table together. "Claire," Ronald said, raising his glass, "you did something wonderful today. We're very proud." "Thank you, Dad," Claire said, "but I couldn't have done it without your support." I spoke too. "Claire, today you showed us how strong you are. Now you can look to the future with confidence." "Yes," Claire said, her eyes filling with tears again. "And Mom, Dad, I owe you so much. I'm sorry for everything." "It's in the past," Ronald said gently. "What matters is now." That night I went to bed happy. Claire had found a job and was successful. Marcus had healed and grown. Maybe everything was falling into place. A few weeks later, Marcus also came with a surprise. He had a young woman with him. "Mom, Dad, I want you to meet someone," Marcus said. "This is Sarah. Sarah and I have been together for 6 months." He paused. "And we're in a serious relationship. I proposed to Sarah." he smiled. She said yes. 2 weddings, I exclaimed, joyful. Unbelievable. The children have grown up and are getting married. How wonderful, Ronald said, shaking David's hand, hugging Sarah. That night, 6 people sat at the table. Me, Ronald, Claire, David, Marcus, and Sarah. The family had expanded and become more beautiful. While I was preparing food in the kitchen, Claire came to me. Mom, I want to say something. I turned to her. You're an incredible woman. I treated you so badly, but you never gave up on me. Her voice breaking. You were always here. Thank you. She paused. And I want to be a mother like you. I hugged her. You will be. I'm sure of it. We both cried, laughed, and hugged. The past was gone. The future was bright. First came Claire's wedding. It was a small but elegant wedding in the garden with close friends and family. Claire looked stunning in her white dress. David was handsome and clearly happy. I cried, but this time they were tears of happiness. My daughter was getting married and finding her own happiness. At the ceremony, Claire looked directly at me and said, Mom, you're my inspiration. Growing up with you was a gift. Thank you. I cried even more. After the wedding, the reception began. There was dancing, music, and laughter. Everything was perfect. Ronald asked me to dance. Today's a beautiful day, he said as we moved together on the dance floor. Very beautiful, I agreed. And you look amazing. You look amazing, he replied. We danced together close to each other. 26 years of marriage and we were still in love. I love you, I said. I love you too, he replied. 3 months later came Marcus and Sarah's wedding. This time it was bigger, at a hotel with 100 guests. Marcus looked very handsome in his suit. Sarah was stunning in her wedding dress. At the ceremony, Marcus thanked Ronald and me. Mom, Dad, you're my heroes, he said emotionally. You raised me with patience, love, and sacrifice. Now I want to be that kind of man, too. My chest swelled with pride. My son had grown and matured. After the wedding, Ronald and I sat on the hotel balcony looking at the stars. 2 children married, Ronald said. I can't believe it. Me neither, I said. They were babies just yesterday. And now they're starting their own families, he said. We did a good job, Maryanne. You did a good job, I said. You raised them. We raised them together, Ronald corrected, taking my hand. He kissed me. Yes, together, I agreed. 6 months later, Claire gave birth to a baby girl. They named her Emma. I rushed to the hospital and was one of the first to see her. The little baby was so beautiful. Blue eyes, blonde hair, tiny fingers. I whispered to her, Hello, Emma. I'm your grandma. Emma looked at me and smiled. My heart melted. She loves you, Claire said, tired but happy. I love her too. So much, I said, taking Emma carefully in my arms. That warmth, that smell. It was all familiar. Just like the day I held Claire for the first time. You're my little miracle, I told Emma softly. And I'll love you forever. Ronald came too and saw Emma, his eyes filled with tears. Our first grandchild, he said. Yes, I said, and she's magnificent. From that day on, Ronald and I visited Claire and Emma often. I helped with baby care, but this time it was different. I gave advice but didn't impose. I let Claire be her own mother. Mom, you help so much. But at the same time, you let me be free, Claire said one day. Thank you. Because you're an adult now, I said. And you're a good mother. I want to be like you, Claire said, crying happy tears. "You already are, sweetheart," I told her. "Today I'm 52 years old. A year ago I felt invisible. In my own home, in my own family. My children didn't see me, only Ronald saw me. But now everything is different. Today is Sunday. We're having a family picnic in the park. Under a big tree, blankets are spread out. Claire and David are here with Emma. Marcus and Sarah are here. Ronald is next to me. Emma runs to me. I open my arms wide. "Grandma! Grandma!" she calls. I pick her up and kiss her. "Hello, sweetheart. I love you so much." "I love you too, Grandma," she says. Claire comes over and sits next to me. "Mom, Emma loves you so much. Every day she asks, 'Where's Grandma?'" "Really?" I say, smiling. "Yes, you're her hero. Mine too," Claire says. My eyes fill with tears. But this time they're tears of happiness. Marcus comes over too. "Mom, Sarah and I have news too." "What news?" I ask. "We're expecting too. 3 months," Marcus says happily. "Really? Oh, Marcus, that's wonderful!" I cry, hugging everyone. My family is growing and becoming more beautiful. And I'm no longer invisible. I'm visible. I'm valued. I'm loved. Ronald comes over and puts his arm around my shoulder. "Are you happy, Maryanne?" "Very happy," I say. "You?" "Me too, because you're happy," he says. I lean on him. 26 years of marriage. There were difficult days. There were conflicts. But we always got through them together. I look at my children. Claire has become a beautiful mother. Marcus has become a responsible man. I'm proud of them. And I'm proud of myself, too. Because I didn't give up. Dark days came, but I persevered. And now I'm here. Happy, visible, valued. Now I know. I'm not just a mother. I'm not just a wife. I'm a woman. A strong, creative, valuable woman. And this is my story. From the invisible woman to the visible woman. Evening comes. Everyone goes home. Ronald and I are the last ones, folding the blankets. "It was a beautiful day," Ronald says. "Very beautiful," I agree. "Ronald?" "Yes?" he says. "Thank you," I say. "For what?" he asks, surprised. "For everything," I tell him. "For seeing me, for loving me, for being with me." I pause. "Without you, I couldn't have made this journey." "You're a strong woman, Maryanne," he says. "You always were. I just reminded you." "But that was enough," I say. "You believing in me was enough." "And I always will," he promises, "because you're incredible." We kiss. The sun is setting. The sky is orange-pink, a beautiful sight. I hold Ronald's hand. We walk home together. And I know, life will be hard sometimes. Challenges will come. But I'm strong now. I found myself. I know me worth. I'm Maryanne Manley, 52 years old. A mother, a wife, a grandmother, an artist, and most importantly, a woman. A visible woman. This was my story. I hope it taught you something. If you also feel invisible, at home, at work, in your family, know that you're not alone. And know that you're valuable. You're visible. You're loved. Sometimes we just need a journey to remember that. I made that journey. And now I'm here. You can do it too. Believe in yourself. With love, Maryanne.